Alright, what's going on, you guys? Welcome to Madrid Hub again. I'm your host, Dr. JOTA, and today we will be talking about four different names regarding to Real Madrid. And step by step, we are going to try to forget everything related to Kylian Mbappé, because to me is not a good taste to keep talking about a player who hasn't been to sign for Real Madrid because he didn't want to, okay? And as the time goes by, my opinion on this drama that happened with Kylian Mbappé, to me is more like, I'm more prone to think and believe he didn't sign for Real Madrid just because he didn't want. In reality, he didn't want to play for Real Madrid. And it's not only my feeling, it is also what I've read from different interviews that he has given in the last 24 hours to everybody else in the world. For example, the media in Brazil or Italy or England or things like that. For example, he's been mentioning that his other favorite team has been Liverpool just because they play in red. The color of the jersey is red. And that was the favorite of his mom. So how are you going to believe a guy who thinks that his favorite team or the team he should play in is Liverpool just because they are in red? There's no point, right? Well, right after that, he said he has a kind of a special feeling towards Milan just because he had a babysitter who was from Italy, and that's why he loves Milan as well. So it's like, man, are you crazy? Are you out of your mind or what? Or what? What is going on here? Okay? So that's why my trust on Kylian Mbappé is declining and trending downwards and very sharply, okay? So I'm going to try to forget everything related to Kylian Mbappé, and life moves on and we have to keep talking about more players because, as you know, right after this thing happened, what Real Madrid is trying to do is to turn the page and try to cover the Kylian Mbappé with more signings and players. And of course, there are like four names we have to talk about today. First one is Tchouameni, and what is the latest news regarding to the French player. Second one is Gnabry. Gnabry is a Bayern Munich player who has been for a long time attached to Real Madrid, a possibility signing for Real Madrid. The third one is, of course, Robert Lewandowski. And the fourth one is Rafael Leao, just because today in Italy, La Gazzetta dello Sport is claiming Real Madrid is willing to throw on the table 120 million euros for the young player, okay? So let's go step by step. Let's get started with Tchouameni, just because yesterday, a couple journalists from Spain were pretty sure the agreement between the player and Real Madrid, and also between Monaco and Real Madrid, it was already done. It was a done deal, and Rodrigo Faiz and Ramon Alvarez de Mon claimed Real Madrid have an agreement with both the player and the team. Real Madrid might be paying about 80 million euros for Tchouameni, and of course, he would be signing for Real Madrid for the next 5 seasons. We still don't know though about the salary, but I'm assuming that he will get, I don't know, maybe 6 to 7 million euros a season or something like that, right? But that is not the most important. The most important today, it is to know, we learn PSG is trying to mess up this deal and is trying to get on the way of Real Madrid for Tchouameni. So they are trying to sign the player just because Kylian Mbappé wants to sign Tchouameni for PSG, right? Tchouameni, but also Dembélé and also apparently Paul Pogba. And considering Kylian Mbappé is already the new sporting director of Paris Saint-Germain, I wouldn't be surprised at all if I learned Kylian Mbappé is pushing hard to Al Khelaifi to sign Tchouameni. And the reason for that is because apparently Monaco has received or is receiving a much higher offer from Paris Saint-Germain to sign or sell them to Tchouameni to them, right? So Real Madrid is agreeing in paying about 80 million euros, but apparently PSG is offering even more than that. So that's why the last 24 hours, the signing of the player are getting more complicated, right? So we are going to try to push hard and sign the player, because apparently the player really want to sign for Real Madrid. But in these days, man, in football, you never know. I mean, you don't know what is going to happen. I mean, as you have seen with Kylian Mbappé and Erling Haaland, everything can change right quick, so we cannot be sure about the future of Tchouameni. I'd say, of course, 19% he will play for Real Madrid, but man, I prefer not to say anything, and let's see what happens. So let's move on and let's talk about the next one, and the next one is, of course, Gnabry. Gnabry, according to Bild, the German newspaper, Gnabry is in the radar of Real Madrid, and Real Madrid is targeting the player just because he plays in a kind of similar position to Mbappé. I mean, it is not the same because he plays in the right wing, and apparently Real Madrid might be interested in signing the player because his contract is coming to an end next year in 2023, and he might be willing to leave Bayern Munich to play in Real Madrid. And Gnabry has scored 17 goals and 7 assists during the season, right? This season, and is 26 years old. So it's a very good signing for Real Madrid. And personally, what I think about this player is everything good, right? I have the best opinion towards Gnabry because I think he's a very good player. I mean, physical wise, is the most prepared player for landing in Madrid, just because I think that all the players from Bayern Munich are, from a physical standpoint, in my opinion, they are ready to go, right? So to me, every single player that comes to Real Madrid from Bayern Munich is a very good signing. But for now, we don't know anything from the Real Madrid side. We don't know if Florentino Perez or Jose Angel Sanchez or either of those are working on the signing. So we still have to wait a little bit. But of course, that would be great news, because to me, Gnabry is a very good player. Very close to Gnabry, we have to talk about Robert Lewandowski. As you know, yesterday, apparently the latest news regarding to Lewandowski is he was offered to Real Madrid. I mean, Pini Zahavi apparently grabbed the phone, made the call to Madrid and say, hey, we are willing to sign for y'all. Just let me know what you think about it, right? Real Madrid didn't respond just because we are super focused and concentrate in the final, right? But Real Madrid didn't say no, okay? So they, in my opinion, are thinking about that possibility, and of course, they will answer to Pini Zahavi right after the final. So we cannot expect any answer from Real Madrid right now, but to me, Real Madrid will consider the possibility to sign Robert Lewandowski. And of course, in addition to that, Bayern Munich is more open wide to sell the player to Real Madrid because they know Real Madrid has a lot of money right now in the pocket, right? So they are more open wide to sell Robert Lewandowski to Real Madrid versus FC Barcelona, because Barcelona this morning, Laporta is complaining about all the obstacles that La Liga is putting on their way to sign players, right? Because they don't, I think that they don't meet the requirements, they don't comply with the fair play financial rules, right? So I don't know, let's see what happens. But to me, like I said in Twitter, man, to me Robert Lewandowski is way better to sign him this year ahead of players like Nkunku or, for example, Rafael Leao. And the reason for that is because you have the Robert Lewandowski, he has scored up to 45 goals every season since he turned his 30s, right? When he turned 30 years old, right, he started to score more goals versus the last 3 years in his 20s, right? When he was 27, 28, and 29, he used to score way less than he's scoring right now, that he is at his 30s, right? So to me, it is better because Nkunku, Leao, all these players are playing incredibly good, right? In terms of goals, assists, and all the stuff, but it's just one season, right? And they are super young. So to me, there's no credentials enough. There's no a kind of background that can back up to these players in order for Real Madrid to sign them. So I would say, I tend to think that Robert Lewandowski might be a better choice for Real Madrid. And of course, let's go ahead with Rafael Leao, because apparently this morning, these guys are not covering this news, but let me tell you, this morning, Rafael Leao, according to La Gazzetta dello Sport, Real Madrid is willing to sign Rafael Leao and throw on the table about 120 million euros. To me, it cannot be true, okay? It can be true. I can understand how Real Madrid is going to throw 120 million euros for a player that only had a single season with good numbers and figures and all the stuff. To me, that would be a completely nonsense. He's a great player, though, I'm not saying otherwise, but to me, if you throw on the table almost the same thing you were going to pay to Kylian Mbappé for Rafael Leao, a player who has scored 7 goals in the whole season and plays in the left wing in the same spot than Vinicius Jr., it can be problematic, right? So to me, there's no point, and I don't think Real Madrid is offering this kind of money, this amount of money, but La Gazzetta dello Sport is a very legit, is a very respectable newspaper, so I'm not quite sure if that is true or not, but let's wait and see what happened with these guys. So now, guys, this is the latest news that we have regarding to all the transfer news, signings, and all the stuff. Now, thumbs up if you liked the video, and of course, see you in the next one.